Welcome back to Wilson's Wild Ride, where we do all things RV and travel. If these things interest you, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification so you never miss a beat. Today, we are exploring the RV route. When we go on a trip, we like to explore the entire journey. We want to take advantage of the whole ride. So today, I'm going to show you some Google trip tricks that I use in planning our route. They're easy and they're free, and they're up next. Okay guys, the first thing I do is plan. We plan, then we plan and we talk and we plan again. But what we really do is we take the trip and we divide it. Wilson takes the part where he plans the whole route. Like he plans where we drive, the roads that we go to, the parks that we're going to stay at, and all of the stops, and even the gas stops. And that is in a future video that he's going to take care of for you. But when I get the route, this is what I do. The first thing that I like to do is go to my timeline. So if you go on Google Maps, you can go down here to your timeline. Hit that timeline. Okay, this is all the places that we've been in the United States. Then I'm going up here and I'm going to hit the month, because I know that in January we went from Charlotte all the way to Port Arthur. So I'm just going to use this as a reference for you. This is that if you look down here, these are all the places that we visit. These are all the places that we went. And the first stop, if you go right there, that's the first day and that's the first stop. That was where we went on January 8th. And the fun part of this is you can go back and see where you stayed, the stops that you made. If you, like us, sometimes we need to go back to the same place, especially if it's in for work. We can go back to the timeline, look at all the places that we've gone, and see if there's places that we want to revisit. I know that this RV park that we really liked, this was really fun because I can go on this RV park right here, and if I just push it and then I push it again, it's going to save to my favorites. And that is convenient for RV parks. You can just have a bunch of RV parks saved that you don't mind revisiting and going back to, and it'll stay in your timeline. Okay, so our first stop was in Auburn, Alabama. Which is great, but the first thing that I do is I look at Auburn. Is there anything around there that I want to go to, want to see? And I might even expand it out a little bit and see if there's stuff that I want to see. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to Google the top 10 things to do in Auburn, Alabama. And the reason why I do the top 10 is because it can be 20, it can be 25, more things than I want to do. So if I cut it down to I want the top 10 things to do, then I get a better list. The things that we like to do, we like to see waterfalls, we like national parks, we like historical sites, and we usually like antique malls. So those would be the things that I would look at around that area, knowing that I didn't have very much time. So I know that I want to go see Tuskegee, the National Museum in Tuskegee. So what I'm going to do, since I'm looking at it and it looks kind of close, I'm going to put it in, and there it is. And now I know that it's only 15 minutes from the RV park, and that's doable for a day. And I also want to look along the route to see if there's anything on the trip that I want to see. And if I bring this out a little bit, I know that there is a really nice park. I don't know how I know it. I just know that there's a nice park in Peachtree City. That's something I've been wanting to look at. It has a waterfall. It's like a park. So this is a really good way of managing your route. I drag it over here. And it tells me how many minutes it's going to add to my route. And now I'm up to 6 hours and 30 minutes, and that's okay. That's still doable. And by the time we get here, Tuskegee is only 15 minutes away, so I can go there too. We have plenty of time in the day. But if we were to get a late start, if we didn't decided we didn't want to take a stop, I can always push it and it will go back to the regular route that we had. I like this feature because I can change the route a little bit, and then I can share it with Wilson and he can decide whether that is doable, whether the route will be good. Now, okay, here's something that I really think is important for figuring out the time that you're going to be departing for your destination. Our destination was Auburn RV Park, and if you look right here, we have to go through Atlanta. I would love to go around Atlanta, but the fastest road to get to where we're going is going through Atlanta. Now, this is what's important. If I come down here, I can go to traffic. See that? Now, this is live traffic for right now. But what is great is you can do typical traffic. We are leaving on a Friday. Wilson wants to leave at 5 in the morning. I know that it takes 4 hours to get from Charlotte to Atlanta. That takes us at 9:00 a.m. on a Friday. Now, this doesn't look too bad, but once I zoom in, it looks not good. If you see all that yellow, we're going to be there Friday at 9 a.m. This doesn't look good at all. Now, if I can convince him to leave at 6 and we get there at 10, it gets a little bit better. And then 11, it gets really bad again. Oh. And then 12 o'clock. I want to avoid Atlanta altogether on a Friday, it looks like. But you get the idea. So then you can go back here and go back to live traffic, and that's what's hitting Atlanta right now. This is also good for your final destination. If right here is Auburn, and I know that we're going to hit that right at about probably, if it depends on if we stop at Peachtree, we will get there around 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock. So I want to see what's going on around here during that time. And there it is. I want to go out a little bit further. And again, I can go to live traffic. I can go to typical traffic in a day. We're still on our Friday. Look at that. Lunchtime looks to be busy. You got to remember that there's a university there. So around 3 o'clock is going to be where I don't want to be. But let's try to get there by 2. And there, now you know. That is a great way of figuring out the area and the traffic and how the traffic's going to be there and knowing when to leave. It's so important to know to avoid those busy traffic areas because nobody wants to be sitting in it. One of the last things I like to do is I like to check out the location that we're going to. I like to check it out on Street View. Street View is in the Google Maps also. Now, if you come over here, we're in Auburn, right here. And I want to get a little bit closer. And looks good. I want to get a little bit closer. Now, how you can see the street views, you take this over here and you just hit on this little guy and all of the street views. If there's a street view, that street will turn blue. And that's a great way to see which streets you can maneuver. Now then, I take this little guy and I pick him up over here. I will drop him off right at the entrance to where we're going. And there it is. We are right here. Entrance looks good. Doesn't look like we have a problem. Now, what you really need to do is make sure that you look up here in the upper left-hand corner is Street View, is your date. That's important because if you push that on there, it's 2016. It looks like that's the only one they have for that. But if you go over here and you look around, now this turn looks really good. We'll be able to do that no problem at all. I don't think so. And you can slide this all the way and make sure that you don't have any problems going. Look at that. Nope, we're good. Now the Street View changes a little bit and you got 2019. That's great. And you can move it up to 2019. And still no problems. Just make sure that you check that date because some of these I've noticed that they can be really old and you want something that's going to be a little bit younger, newer. This is also pretty cool when you want to check out the timeline of different areas and of streets that you might want to go check out and you're not sure that the RV will fit. This is a great way of finding out whether you think that you can make that road or not, or you can make that turn. So there you have it. Some tricks from Google, from route planning, all the little things that I like to do to try to make our trip more fun, have a great time on the journey and on the ride, and not just going to the destination. Now I'm just going to give that route back to Wilson and he will finish up with reservations. If you have any other Google ideas, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'd love to know. This stuff is great and it makes your life a lot more easy and it's completely free. Thanks for watching and don't forget to enjoy the ride.